local real estate expert, Jamie Meloni.
Hi again, everybody, and welcome to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. You'll find my show on every Mondays at noon, so I invite you to please tune in as my show aims to become your information source for the Tampa Bay real estate market. Got a great show planned for you guys today in studio. I've got co-host Stella Giudicelli with us today. And on the first half of the show, we're going to have Garry Simpson, owner of Simpson Air. We're going to be talking all about HVAC systems. And on the second part of the show, we got real estate broker Scott Humphries of Coldwell Banker in to talk about the benefits of Coldwell Banker and some of the some great tips about real estate in the Tampa Bay region right now. Off air, you can find me at my websites, tampabayradio.com, and I offer all the home sellers out there in the marketplace a free home valuation if they text the word value to my cell phone, 813-760-8516. Again, text the word value, 813-760-8516. So in studio, I want to go ahead and lead off with my first guest. Garry Simpson is a 30-plus year heating and air conditioning veteran with a background and experience that has helped build one of the truly innovative air conditioning companies serving the greater Tampa Bay area. Garry applies his knowledge and experience throughout the company and helps to ensure that the Simpson field techs and installers are the very best in the business. Garry, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Thank you for coming in. Garry, 30 years in the business has undoubtedly given you experiences and knowledge that many in the business probably cannot match. Explain to the audience a little bit more about your background in this business.
Well, I started at 17 years old. All of my adult life has basically been in the business. I started out as an apprentice for various different companies and then became a subcontractor doing ductwork installation for the majority of that time, or half of it anyway. And it gave me an understanding of installation, of being from the ground up all the way through sales and then becoming an owner.
Interesting. Now, I mean, you started back, what, 1975 or something?
Right out of high school, yes, sir.
Interesting. I mean, how have HVAC systems changed from when you started in 1975 to how they are designed now?
Well, they were a little less complicated back then. The SEER rating wasn't a big deal. The SEER rating is an energy efficiency
I hear a lot about
ratio.
that. Explain what a SEER rating is. Here, SEER 13 or something, right?
Well, that's a minimum government standard.
Okay.
Now,
What does SEER stand for? That's SEER. What is that?
it's a seasonal energy efficiency ratio that grades the miles per gallon, if you would, on the electricity usage of an air conditioning system. The higher that SEER rating, the more efficient and the more expensive that system is.
Okay. And right now we're using SEER 13, right? That's the industry standard, right?
That's correct, and they want it to go up from 13 to 14 and on up from there.
And what other differences do you see in the HVAC systems of today? You say efficiency is a big difference. Are there? I mean, they last a lot longer than what they did in the past, or have costs come down or gone up versus the older systems?
Well, everything's gone up in price. There's no question about that. But what's changed in the air conditioners is the technology. Mm-hmm. They're less forgiving now. They require a lot of airflow. They're high tech. They're not just components, peanut relays, things like that. They're actually very sophisticated with modules and boards and two-speed and variable speed and just so many things now that you have to be aware of. And having that earlier knowledge allows me to not only understand the system. It's not just an air conditioner. It's a complete system. The ductwork, everything has to work.
I know I had a friend in the past that was studying to get his HVAC license, and there was a whole manual on what to know, and it was quite impressive. It's almost like, you're going to some type of engineering, project here to understand what an HVAC system is doing. And so, yeah, there's a lot to know, and a lot of people think they know how that HVAC system works, but there's so many components to that they just don't understand.
Well, it's not like your typical college education where you go out there and you learn how to do whatever you do. Air conditioning is, I think, a lot of people can do it. There's a lot of retailers out there that call themselves AC contractors, but I think personally that having that knowledge of installation and understanding how the system actually works and having that experience over the years has allowed us at Simpson Mechanical or Simpson Air to do it right, do a better job, because we understand that airflow and what that system needs to work properly. Now,
Garry, you founded Simpson Air in 1999, and now you're a leading area AC company. What are some of the values and ideals that you and your company stand upon?
Well, I really want to say honesty, integrity, and all those things but I think that should come with any company that's out there doing.
Well, you wouldn't be around, that long without.
Well, no
those
one
values.
should be. They should all have those basic interests. But What we do is we're trying to let all the customers out there know that do business with us that we're service and repair experts. We're not just going to come out there and change your air conditioner out because it's got a bad contactor. We're going to come out there and look over the system, determine what's actually going on there, and it could be an airflow issue, it could be a maintenance issue. You don't need a new system every time you have a problem with it, but those are the things we do. Plus, we hire good people and duplicate what we know in our knowledge and teach those guys how to do it right and how to understand the system from the beginning.
Now, how large is your company now?
We're about 43 people strong, including myself and my wife Paige. We both run the business day to day. We're out there every day talking to the service department, talking to the installers, talking to the different entities. We're there every day. Interesting.
Now, what are some of the challenges from when you started the company in 1999 that you faced to today? What are some of the things that you've had to work through?
Well, we started out as a new construction company, just doing new homes, putting air conditioning and ductwork in those. That went along pretty good until, as we all know, went through a small recession there. And about 2004, right before that, we had so many customers from the new construction market that we turned those into retail customers and started doing service on their machines and started actually becoming a retrofit change-out specialist and built our service department. Prior to that, we didn't have much of that. We were just doing installs. It was so busy. But then the recession took over and things went down, buildings stopped, and had we not started doing that, we wouldn't be the company we are today because we were able to move into that retail marketplace. And there's one thing about Simpson Air too. We specialize in residential new construction and retail retrofit. We don't do commercial. We don't do chiller work. We don't do a lot of those things that a lot of companies want to be a little bit of everything to everyone. We specialize in what we do, and that's residential.
Right, and you had mentioned, that the downturn in the market in 2006 and 7, impacted your business, but you're seeing a rebound in new housing developments, right? So, and you're specializing in new construction and everything. So you're definitely seeing a rebound. Would you not say?
Well, we're doing what we've always done, which is new construction, and we've now done, moved more into the retail side of the business. But we're all about comfort, quality, and value. That's what we are. We're a true AC contractor.
And what are the areas that you cover and time frames you offer in terms of service? I mean, do you have like 24-hour emergency service, 1-hour emergency service? How's your company set up?
That's a really tough question because you can answer it many different ways. But I tell you, to be honest with you, we want to service up till about 9 o'clock at night. My techs are tired by then. Doesn't matter how many you have. We have 8, but by 9 o'clock at night, we try to call the customer back and troubleshoot them over the phone. We have very specific questions that we ask that they can do to get through the night. But by the time I get to your house at 1 o'clock in the morning and stay up that late and the unit's frozen over when I get there, I can't thaw it out for 3 hours. We just set you up for first call in the morning, and you're our first call.
AC systems are one of those things. When they go out, you want somebody there immediately. I know I've called a few people in the past at 10, 11 o'clock at night, hunted around until I could find somebody to come out there. You just don't want to sleep in Florida, with this the humidity out there without any type of AC system running. If you're just tuning in, you've been listening to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Got to take a quick sponsor break, but stay tuned. We're going to have more with Garry Simpson here about how some of the stuff that you should be doing to maintain your AC system here coming upon the summer season. Please stay tuned.
Thinking about buying a home? Find out how the HUD Home Store can help you. Visit HUDHomestore.com. Look at HUD homes available for sale near you or nationwide. Why HUD Home Store? HUD will pay up to 3% of the buyer's closing cost. The price of the home is based on an FHA as-is appraisal, which is already completed, saving you an average of $400. And there is an owner-occupant priority bidding period during the first 30 days. Want to know more? Visit HUDHomestore.com.
Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage. Since opening its doors 120 years ago, Stewart Title Company has established a lasting legacy of providing professional title services. Even other title insurance companies know Stewart Title Company because they do their actual underwriting for them. Stewart is here to provide a wide range of resources to help improve any real estate transaction. To learn more about protecting yourself against hidden title hazards that may threaten your financial investment, call Melissa Stoddard at at 813-431-8025. That's 813-431-8025. At Fifth Third Bank, a wide variety of choices is available so you can find the mortgage loan that meets your financial needs. Factor in competitive rates, flexible terms and conditions, and fast closings. And these are some of the best solutions around. Whether you just ended a residency or are a longtime physician, the right fit for you can be found at Fifth Third Bank. For no obligation, free credit analysis, call Robert Paradis today at 813-300-7218. 813-300-7218. You're listening to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show with local expert Jamie Meloni. Now, here's Jamie.
Hi again, everybody, and thanks for staying tuned in to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. And again, you'll find my show on every Mondays at noon, so please tune in as my show aims to become your information source for the Tampa Bay real estate market. We've been talking with Garry Simpson, owner of Simpson Air, during the first part of the show, and I want to continue with him now. Gary, let's switch gears and talk more specifically about HVAC systems themselves. You know, they're a very important component of homes in Florida and very costly component to replace when they fail. First, explain a little bit more about how the central HVAC system works and how heat pumps work along with them. Because a lot of times the heat pump isn't included and you think that they are. How does all that tie together?
Jamie, how that works, it's HVAC, which is the heating and ventilation AC system in that home.
Okay. And
how it functions is it is a very tough system. They're built to last, and they do get sometimes 20 years. But there's some basic maintenance that needs to be done, and that's what we, as consumers, typically overlook. We drive our car, to and from work. It sits at work all day, and it comes home and sits in the garage all night. But our air conditioners, and they do, 8,000, 12,000 mile oil changes, but an air conditioner runs 24/7, 365, and you forget about it because as long as it's comfortable, you tend to let it go and ignore it. But maintenance is something we really highly recommend because that minimizes your failure, minimizes your breakdown, and minimizes your uncomfortableness. What we offer is we recommend that customers put vinegar in their drain lines occasionally. There's typically a port in there by the air handler, which is the piece inside that moves the air, is to put vinegar in that drain line every 6 months or so to neutralize the stuff that clogs the drain up that causes failure. The filter is a very big problem because no air in, no air out kind of thing, and you need to change it, and you need to use a good filter. Sometimes the most inexpensive filter is the best one. So we recommend good filter changes. A lot of the filter manufacturers out there today offer a 3-month filter. Well, if a filter lasts 3 months, it'll typically, if it's a 1-inch filter, it's because your air conditioner's not running. It won't last that long. They coat up real quick. They catch every piece of dust every time you walk through your home. These filters trap whatever's moving that's airborne. And if that filter gets clogged, your unit shuts down. So changing the filter monthly is a good thing. And having that unit cleaned and serviced by a true AC tech or serviceman, not a salesman, tends to add life to the machine, performance to the machine, keep your power bills low, and we stress that more than just about anything else.
Now, with some of the maintenance that you do, I mean, the keeping the coils clean, I mean, that's something that I know a lot of people try to do themselves. They go out there and spray the coils with a coil cleaner. How effective is just home, remedies versus, what you all do with a full service?
Well, the outdoor unit, we call it the condenser. Everyone tends to want to refer to it as the compressor, but it's a condensing unit. In both of those units, by the way, there's a piece inside your home and there's a piece outside. One's the condenser outside and the air handler's inside. Both have coils or radiators, and both of them move air. If they're restricted for some reason, they will not move as much air, so they won't transfer as much heat and remove that heat to allow you to cool or heat the home. So if you wash those annually or a couple times a year, whatever you decide to do, it keeps them breathing cleanly, keeps the air moving through them, and it allows that system and that refrigerant to do what it does, and that's move through the system and cool your house.
So in addition to treating the drain line with the vinegar and then the cleaning of the coils, what else do you do in an annual maintenance?
We check all the components and we measure all the voltages and resistance to the different ones and determine whether they're in range. And if they're not in range, we recommend you replace that part. Most of the systems today come with 10-year parts warranties. They don't always come with labor, but they come with parts. And we recommend at that time during the maintenance, before the failure, hopefully, that you change these parts. And if you do, you could really go through 10 years of service without ever having to replace parts or pay for them because
And even
during
if
the service.
And even if you didn't install the system, you can come out and do a maintenance on a system, see that a component needs replaced, and then you can contact the manufacturer and get that component replaced, correct?
Absolutely. We highly recommend, and that's why we like Carrier. They're proprietary to their parts and pieces, and we put those pieces back into the machine. We don't just put any aftermarket part in there, and that's the one thing that allows the system to work better, as well as putting the right part in there that came with the system.
Mm-hmm. Now, I think you're just getting on to my next question there. You mentioned Carrier. I was going to say there's many HVA systems, on the marketplace. I mean, what is your preferred brand? Is it Carrier, and why do you prefer that brand? Carrier
would be our preferred brand because we first of all, Willis Carrier invented air conditioning back in 1907.
Interesting.
And so their technology and their leadership in the industry and their training, all that is paramount, in my opinion, to the other brands out there. They work well, they do what they say they're going to do, and they're innovative in technology. They bring to the table the variable speed. Matter of fact, they have the patent on the true variable speed. Carrier does, and with that said, that's that humidity control that everyone talks about that we like to offer to customers when they're buying a new system. But Carrier's the best because they just have the good support. They have service behind you. They're leaders in the industry, and we're leaders in the industry. So we partnered well together. And
you hear a lot about Trane. A lot of people seem to think that Trane is the industry leader. I mean, what's your opinion on Trane versus Carrier? Is there something that stands out against Trane over Carrier, or no?
I like all the brands out there, Jamie, but I like Carrier the most.
Carrier's your best one. Now, in reviewing your website, thecoolestguys.com, again, that's thecoolestguys.com, you talk about the importance of proper duct design. Elaborate more on this.
Well, again, that's from my installation background back early on. Didn't realize back then that was going to be so powerful. Didn't really realize that I would be in the business as long as I have, and things just somehow work out. But duct design is very important, and that's another thing we talk a lot about. These newer systems being as complicated and as high-tech as they are, you just can't install an air conditioner of 2014 into a system that's 1980. And when you do that, you're asking for trouble, because a lot of companies out there will just put that system in, hook it up, it'll blow cold air, and they leave. Mm-hmm. At Simpson Air, we look at the duct design, and we determine that system is going to work on that new air conditioner, because they're more high performance than the older duct systems. And we pay close attention to that, and I think that's part of the biggest reason a system lasts longer than shorter, or has failure, or doesn't have failure, is the duct system. Interesting
stuff. Well, Gary, thank you very much for coming on the show. I learned a lot today about central air systems and everything. Real quick for the audience, please get out your contact information, how they get in touch with your company.
You can call the office at 813-558-0858. You can go to our website at www.simpsoncoolair.com.
Now, you also had thecoolestguys.com, right?
We are thecoolestguys.com.
So
there's several ways to get out to our website.
That's probably the easiest to remember, thecoolestguys.com.
What? Thecoolestguys.com?
Thecoolestguys.com, like, absolutely. And what was the phone number one more time for the audience?
It's 813-558-0858.
Interesting. Highly recommend that people out there, take a look at their systems right now and coming up here on the summer season, and get those things maintained. And, please reach out to Garry Simpson of Simpson Air. He'll definitely take care of you, and tell him the Jamie Maloney Real Estate Show sent you over, if you would, please. Gary, thanks very much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Jamie.
Thank you. Going ahead and switch gears here. I want to talk with Stella Giudicelli. She's a regular contributor to my show. A lot of people have seen her, out and about, and they're going to be seeing a little bit more of her lately with this new video that she's produced. I want to talk a little bit about this new project of hers, the Tampa Happy video. Go ahead and let's talk about this a little bit, Stella.
Yes, of course. So everyone loves Happy from Pharrell Williams. You know the song, Jamie?
Pharrell
Everyone
Williams?
here? Yeah.
Yes.
Very good. And so I don't know if you've seen the official video, but what that is people dancing in the streets. And when you look at it, it's just fun. It makes you happy. It's entertaining. It gives you a big smile on your face. And so what's happening at the moment is that there is a worldwide trend whereby people are duplicating the video for their city. And so I've seen that, and I was totally inspired by it, and I kept on typing on YouTube, Happy, Tampa, Tampa Happy, nothing would come up. And at one point I had to put my fist on the table, and I said, we are going to put Tampa on the Happy map. Mm-hmm. So that's what happened. I'm a real estate agent, so I've never done movie producing whatsoever. I didn't know how I would make that happen, but somewhat I did. So I contacted a friend of mine who's an actress, Connie Frank, and I've asked her what we could do to make it happen. And I love for her to dance with me on the video, but now we needed someone to film us. So she put me in contact with Tony Steinyard from AMS Visions and Production, and also Mark Paris from Cine Enigma Production. And then we just got started. We went in the streets after works on the weekend in the sun of Florida, and then we started asking people to dance for us in the streets. Yeah.
So you pretty much, I've seen the video, and you can see it on your YouTube channel. Real quick, where can people find the video?
Right. So you go on YouTube and you type Happy Tampa 2014.
And it comes up pretty easily
And
from that search?
it's the first link.
Yeah, I've seen it. I mean, I know you've been working on this for the last few months. I mean, how much time have you put into this?
So I had the idea 4 months ago. We've been working on it for the last 1.5 months. It's many hours from the team. And I was so lucky. Those are the first people that came in the project, and I was so lucky I found people that had the same commitment that I had to create that as a gift for the community, and were so hardworking. And we just didn't know Connie too much, didn't know Tony, and now we're so good friends. And actually, Tony asked me to marry him on the first 2 weeks.
Who's that now?
Tony, my cameraman.
Oh, the cameraman,
and
okay.
The director and editor as well, but that's for another story.
I'm sure you've had many marriage proposals.
Yeah, so we had a great time, and so we ended up having 166 people involved in the project. We had adults dancing for us, we had kids, we had dogs in tutus, so that was great. A special thanks for the Children's Cancer Center as well. I was totally honored by being able to go there and film the kids. To dance for us too over there. So. And
you went around Tampa and you just picked people at random who you ran into, and then they became the performers, correct?
Right, exactly. I had in my mind a specific spots I wanted to go to represent Tampa, and so we would just show up there and improvise and ask people to explain the project and ask people to dance for us. Wasn't always easy because people, I think, didn't really know what I wanted to do and didn't really know where they would end up and what they were getting themselves into. But I found enough brave people to want to throw themselves into it with me.
Were most people familiar with the happy concept and everything?
So no, people knew the song, but people didn't know about what was happening around the world.
Interesting. And actually, we've got, if you're watching the streamcast, we've got the video up on the streamcast. You can find the streamcast at the website tampabayradio.com. I have a show info tab, and you can see the live stream on the website there. Got to take a quick break here, bottom of the hour, but we're going to come back here in just a moment. We'll be talking more with Stella Giudicelli about this video. And then in the second half of the show, we got Scott Humphries, real estate broker with Coldwell Banker. We're going to be talking a little bit about the Tampa Bay marketplace and Coldwell Banker as well. So if you're just tuning in, you've been listening to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. And again, you'll find my show on every Mondays at noon, so I invite you to please tune in as my show aims to become your information source for the Tampa Bay real estate market. Please stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment.
Clap along if you feel like a room that's what you wanna do. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you wanna do. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. The love is too high to bring me down. Can't none bring me down. I said, because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you wanna do. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy.
Real Estate Show with local expert Jamie Meloni. Now, here's Jamie.
Hi again, everybody, and happy Monday, and welcome again to the Jamie Maloney Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. You'll find this show on every Mondays at noon, so I invite you to please tune in as my show aims to become your information source for the Tampa Bay real estate market. In the first half of the show, we've been talking with Garry Simpson, owner of Simpson Air, and leading into that last break there, we were talking with fellow contributor Stella Giudicelli on her new Happy Tampa project video, which is getting rave reviews and is a very impressive project. Stella, when did you release this video?
So we've released the video on last Thursday at 11:30 p.m. And then it was on Fox News in the morning, so we were very surprised about that and very excited that it already caught such a big attention, like when everyone would wake up in the morning. Yeah.
How did Fox pick this up? You didn't send it to them or anything, correct? They just picked it up?
So we've sent, after that, we send information to a lot of news, but we also, Piquant, in Hyde Park Village, the restaurant is involved in the filming, and they've been on the show there on Fox News. So,
what was the restaurant again?
Piquant. It's a French restaurant. I gave it the Stella Bella seal of approval because it's really representing of my culture of France. So we filmed there, and they I've just learned that they went ahead and sent the information to them because they had a contact, and that's how we ended up in the morning on the news. So
it's very impressive. And how many views has this video gotten already on YouTube?
So right now, this morning we had 3,400 views, and each time I look at it, I'm like, I have no clue like how the numbers increase, but it's going around, and it's obviously going around in France, in the UK because I live there, in Canada, in Hong Kong because I've sent it to all of my friends. So Tampa is being promoted all around the world right now. So
yeah,
it's great.
It's a very very well done video. I mean, this again, it's playing up on my Streamcast, and you can see the Streamcast at tampabayradio.com via the show info link there. I have a link for the live stream that you can see this, but it's very well done. I mean, this looks like was done by an actual professional. I could see this out.
Tony Stignard is just awesome to work with, and he's a total professional and added great ideas, and Connie as well. It was really a teamwork.
Now, what was your inspiration for the video?
Well, I think there's two things for me. I'm inspired every day by I just don't know, it's inside me, like, what can I do for people today? Like, it's, the green juices are organized, the workout challenges, real estate, how much we participate in people's life that way. So that's really what makes me get up in the morning. Mm-hmm. It's just what I'm going to be able to give and how happy people are going to be about it. So that was just perfect. It's a happy song. So that was really my first step. But I also lived in different cities around the world, and Tampa is just such an amazing place to be. People are so warm and welcoming, and there's really this general consensus of having a good life together under the sun. And definitely my friends, the people I know here, everything that they give to me every day was a total inspiration for showing the world how happy is Tampa.
Yeah, well, you did a phenomenal job on it. It's very impressive. How many other cities have done a video similar to this? Do you know?
There are hundreds of thousands of videos like that on YouTube. Actually, Pharrell Williams was on Oprah recently, and she showed him, and he knew already about it, but then she showed him an excerpt of all of those videos, and he started sobbing. He couldn't stop.
Yeah.
So it's really, everyone is really getting into it. It's just so fun to watch.
It's a great song. Interestingly enough, he also has a website, 24hoursofhappy.com, which is a 24-hour video that just continually runs, and the song just plays over and over again.
Right.
My challenge to anybody out there is if you can sit through 24 hours of that video and still be happy at the end of the video, you're definitely above me, because I would be very irritable after 24 hours of the same song repeating over and over again. But nonetheless, a great creation by Stella Giudicelli. And again, you can see this up on the Streamcast at TampaBayRadio.com and also on her YouTube channel as well. Just type, what is it again?
Happy Tampa 2014.
Great. Thank you very much, Stella, for that contribution. I mean, it's a very impressive video that you did there.
Thank you, Jamie.
I want to introduce my second guest here. Scott Humphries began his real estate career at the Coldwell Banker Residential South Tampa office in 2008, and his leadership skills quickly gained him entry into branch office management. He was an All-American on Stanford University's undefeated tennis team, which won the NCAA championship in 1995, and he's played professional tennis for 10 years, competing at Wimbledon, the U.S. Open, the Australian Open, French Open, and winning 3 doubles titles on the ATP Tour. He understands the importance of setting goals and working together to achieve them. His background gives him a unique perspective on how he motivates his associates and help them achieve greatness. Scott, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jamie. Looking forward to being here.
Thanks. Scott, your background in tennis is very impressive. Explain to the audience how you've transferred that work ethic, into your real estate practice.
Sure. I think in any level of things that you do, you got to work hard to achieve your goals. It's important to set goals, but also nothing comes easy. You got to put the hard work and the time in, and I think I was able to transfer that from the tennis court into coaching, and then also into real estate when I was listing and selling, and then also into coaching the agents that I work with.
And you came into real estate with no experience back in, when was it, 2008 roughly, 2009, when was it?
Had some family history in real estate out in California, but yeah, I came in cold from traveling the world and got started in the South Tampa office.
That's interesting. Who were some of the tennis greats that you competed against or played alongside?
Pete Sampras, Andre Agassi, Jim Courier, Jennifer Capriati, local name as well. To some of the younger people, I should say, Roger Federer. So kind of all over the map there, but a good group of guys, and some are local as well. So I practiced a bunch with some of those guys.
Interesting. What was it like to play at Wimbledon? I mean, did you ever imagine as a youth playing tennis you would one day play on the grandest stage of them all in tennis?
I think that was always kind of my dream. I'd wake up early to watch breakfast at Wimbledon when Edberg and the Couriers were playing in the final. So that was always the dream. And then to be able to play there, center court Wimbledon in 2004 when I retired was a special feeling.
Interesting. That's very impressive. Why did you leave the sport, and how do you stay involved in the game today?
Left when I stopped playing. I went into coaching. Had an opportunity to work with Marty Fish, a local guy that was top 10 in the world. Worked with him for several years. Some of the young up and coming Americans. And then worked with some of the female players, and I'd been traveling internationally since I was about 14, and that does get old a little bit. So I was eager to get into the real estate business and start kind of the next phase of my career.
Now, are you coaching today? Are you mentoring young professionals, or no?
I'll do a little bit locally, but just don't have the time with managing Coldwell Banker office and a family, so it's tough. I still do some pro-ams here and there locally, some tournaments if they work into my schedule. But not too much into the tennis world anymore.
Interesting. Now, you're a branch manager with the Coldwell Banker, brokerage, of which I'm with as well. And Coldwell Banker agents are, currently representing more $1 million plus listings in the area with 116 listings with, the second best competitor behind us at 73. And year to date, Coldwell Banker has sold $23 million plus homes, whereas our second place contributor is in at only 12. Let's talk a little bit about the advantages that Coldwell Banker offers sellers in this segment of the marketplace.
Our Previews brand, which is our $1 million and up properties, we have several marketing instruments that we use in those $1 million plus properties, as well as being able to market properties online like no other company can. From our over 700 websites to our luxury magazines, to just the range of the Coldwell Banker name and where it goes.
Yeah. I think an importance of at least before I even got into real estate, I always understood the importance in real estate of a brand name that had national recognition. I know real estate is local, but when you're getting into the $1 million plus category, you've got to have national and international brand name recognition, and people don't want to deal with or don't trust sometimes the smaller brokerages because they don't have that reputation built up. So it's important to have a strong brand name that has international recognition, and that's something that Coldwell Banker offers. Plus we have 16 branch office locations as well, so there's a lot of Coldwell Banker agents here in the area. And you mentioned, we have over 700 websites, that we market our properties on. And I always say, don't be fooled by other, brokerages that claim to be marketing on tens of thousands, because all they're doing is they're claiming every agent's, personal website as a real estate website that they're that they're marketing on. And the average realtor's website gets zero traffic. So, we're on 725 websites, and we're getting great exposure for all our properties. Would you not say?
I would. Within 24 hours of listing our properties, they're global. We're seeing more and more international buyers right now, and that's why we're continually growing where our brand is. Right now, we're in over 51 countries, and most of the people that come into our country do know the Coldwell Banker brand. So brand is a huge thing, and plenty of the new licensees that I interview, know the brand but don't know much about what we have to offer, and that really is, a job of mine to make sure that they understand the value of what Coldwell Banker can offer their real estate career.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scott, do you know how many offices we have overseas now?
We have 50. We're in 51 different countries.
Okay, and I know you're in France. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, sure. A big market of ours. That European market, we're seeing a lot of UK buyers come in, a lot from France, but South America as well. So that's a market that we're continually looking to grow in. And I know our Florida president, Clark Toole, that's a priority for his as well, for him as well.
Right.
Very good stuff. I got to take a quick sponsor break, but if you're just tuning in, you've been listening to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins, WHNZ. Please stay tuned. We're going to finish up the show with a little bit more from Scott and a little bit of an update on the Tampa Bay real estate marketplace.
At Fifth Third Bank, a wide variety of choices is available so you can find the mortgage loan that meets your financial needs. Factor in competitive rates, flexible terms and conditions, and fast closings. And these are some of the best solutions around. Whether you just ended a residency or are a longtime physician, the right fit for you can be found at Fifth Third Bank. For no obligation, free credit analysis, call Robert Paradis today at 813-300-7218. 813-300-7218. Since opening its doors 120 years ago, Stewart Title Company has established a lasting legacy of providing professional title services. Even other title insurance companies know Stewart Title Company because they do their actual underwriting for them. Stewart is here to provide a wide range of resources to help improve any real estate transaction. To learn more about protecting yourself against hidden title hazards that may threaten your financial investment, call Melissa Stoddard at 813-431-8025. That's 813-431-8025. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage.
Thinking about buying a home? Find out how the HUD Home Store can help you. Visit HUDHomestore.com. Look at HUD homes available for sale near you or nationwide. Why HUD Home Store? HUD will pay up to 3% of the buyer's closing cost. The price of the home is based on an FHA as-is appraisal, which is already completed, saving you an average of $400. And there is an owner-occupant priority bidding period during the first 30 days. Want to know more? Visit HUDHomestore.com.
You're listening to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show with local expert Jamie Meloni. Now, here's Jamie.
Hi again, everybody, and thanks for staying tuned in to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. And again, you'll find my show on every Mondays at noon, so please tune in as my show aims to become your information source for the Tampa Bay real estate market. Scott, I remember you coming into our office as a new agent, and now you're a branch manager over, many new as well as experienced, agents as you once were. How did Coldwell Banker develop you as a dominating agent in the marketplace, and what tools did it offer you to aid in your development?
Sure, yeah. I think the main thing there is leadership. We're led by a great group of people that gives us the tools, gives us the instruments to be successful. The leads certainly coming into the company are great, but, we're not a discount brokerage. The tools are there for our agents to use and to give our clients top-notch service. So, it certainly stems from the opportunities that the agents create, but when we do create those that when we're discussing the value of a company, I think that if we're able to do that effectively, our clients see what we can do to offer them to sell their house at the highest possible price.
And Coldwell Banker offers all its agents, I think it's 1 or 2 week training session. They really take an agent through the process, whereas a lot of agents will walk into a brokerage with no experience. And I always tell people in the community, just because somebody has a real estate license does not mean that they have the knowledge. The Florida State Real Estate Licensing course does not prepare a person for real estate sales. They leave that responsibility up to the brokerages, and some of the brokerages do not take upon that responsibility. Would you not say?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, getting your real estate license, you have the ability to sell real estate, but not necessarily the know-how. Our Coldwell Banker University takes a new agent in and really gives them the know-how, the tools, the understanding of the business and how they can build their business to be successful from the first week in the business. So an important tool that we offer.
Yeah, absolutely. I can remember when I got my license back in 2006, and I got done with the course and got my license. I had no idea what to do. I was like, what do I do? I was scared to death to show home. They started talking about making an offer. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, you go through and you get your license and you come to the office every day, but there's not really that know-how on how I'm going to go create business for myself.
Yeah.
So that's really where our education and the coaching that we provide those new agents takes over.
Absolutely. Why do you feel that so many realtors fail in this business and bounce around from office to office? You see that so much, that real estate people, just never get a foothold in the business. And since you're mentoring so many agents, where are they going wrong?
Yeah, I think in the setup of their business. In any business, you do need to invest in your business. You need to look at what's going to bring you business. It's a networking business that you need to make sure that you are networking with clients, with customers, with your sphere of influence. So it's why they're failing. Tough to put one specific thing on it. But when you come to Coldwell Banker and see the value that we offer our agents and what we provide them with to be successful, there really is no other place.
Absolutely. And then, as a branch manager, part of your job, mentoring these new agents and everything, explain to me where, most of the agents that you mentor are strong, and where do you think they're weak mostly?
I think you get people that come into the business, they're fired up to get going. They're excited about the business. Okay, let's go. Let's get a listing. Let's write an offer. But, it really comes down to the coaching, mentoring that you mentioned to make sure that they're on the right path. They join an office to be held accountable, to get their business up and going. And we as managers, they need to hold us accountable to keep them on the right path as well. So a lot of things that new agents can do, but there's certainly smart things to do and not so smart things to do. And we try to make sure they're doing the right things.
I've always thought, a lot of agents go wrong where they don't develop a proper infrastructure, and they really don't understand that when they become a licensee, they become an independent contractor of a brokerage, and they have opened a business they need to incorporate, and then they need to start, paying themselves through a payroll service, and then work in their sphere of influence. And this is true in any real sales business, I would say, but especially in real estate, because it is your own business, and so many people just, I don't think, understand that they get a real estate license. And it's something that I mentor a lot of agents too, because I spend so much time and effort on my own infrastructure, and it's obviously helped me through the years. But so many people just don't build that infrastructure at the onset of it, and develop that networking sphere that they need to. Would you not agree?
Yeah, getting started in the business, it's tough to know those types of things, and I don't think you're necessarily busy enough to have that as a top priority. But to be where you are and as many units in sales that you do is probably a very smart thing, and I'm sure you consulted with some attorneys or legal people that directed you down the right path, what was right for you. But our goal in bringing people in is to make sure that they're on the right path to be successful. And and we want them to stay in the business, stay with Coldwell Banker, and build a successful career.
Very good. Well, Scott, thank you very much, for coming on the show. A lot of great information and definitely some good information there on your tennis career. Very interesting to know somebody that played at Wimbledon, so I will say that. So thank you very much, for coming on the show. You and I do a lot of business together, and we'll be doing a lot more, coming up, here in the years. So thank you very much.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me, Jamie.
Got a few minutes here left in the show. I want to talk a little bit about what's going on out there in the Tampa Bay marketplace. As far as the market, we're seeing the market begin to stabilize. The institutional investors that, had dominated the market, they came in about 2012. And these are your hedge funds that you hear so much about, buying up all these subdivision homes for rental use. They came on the scene in 2012, all at once, and they really started to drive up the values. And for the last 2 years, they've been, the reason why every time somebody submits an offer on a property, you hear, the request for, multiple offers, please submit highest and best. But, they are now starting to wane. The values have stabilized. They buy on a model, and they expect to get a certain, rate of return on the properties. And they, by competing with themselves, have pushed up values between 15 and 20% on average in the Tampa Bay marketplace. But now their models are just at their peak, and they're becoming much more selective, and they're not dominating the marketplace as they once were. The distressed market, we're seeing some retraction in that. Although this is, when I say that, I mean over the last few years. But I would say in the last year, it's picked up a little bit, and due in large part to the Florida House Bill 87 that was signed into law last year, that's speeding up the foreclosure process in the state of Florida. But as a market as a whole, got some stats here for you. In Pinellas County, 8.31% of the are short sales for April 2014. This is available inventory. So about 8% there are short sales on the market in Pinellas County, and 10% of the properties that sold in April of 2014 were short sales. The foreclosures or the REO inventory in Pinellas County, 13.8% for April 2014 is what's on the market. And of the solds, 21.5% were REO properties that sold in Pinellas in April of 2014. Hillsborough, we're looking at about available inventory for short sales in April of 2014 at 9%, and comprising the marketplace, 11.3% of them were sold, or represented the sold inventory that came off the market at that time in that county. And 13.46% were REO properties that are available inventory for 2014. I'm sorry, for April 2014, and 18%, is what sold in the, last part of the month. So we're seeing, some, they're still out there, but they don't dominate the marketplace as they once did in 2008 and 2009. Months of inventory, that's beginning to pick up. Last year at this time in Pinellas County, we had 3.24 months of inventory, and right now we're at 4.64 months of inventory for single-family homes in Pinellas County. And so we're, they consider the marketplace to, be in equilibrium at around the 6-month point and everything. So we're moving on up. We're definitely seeing, a lot more opportunities for the first-time home buyers. The investors were drowning them out, over the last year. And so, definitely, if you're out there, been frustrated with making an offer on a property and stuff, consider getting yourself back in the game. It's still a great time to buy. Values are still low. We saw values decline about 50% from their highs in 2006. And, we've recovered about 20% of that value since then. But, it's still a great time to buy. So if you're on the sidelines waiting, to get into the business here to buy a home, now is a great time. You don't want to keep waiting. There's still a lot of great factors out there to take into consideration, as well as, mortgage rates that are, at record lows. And, so you want to take advantage of that before these interest rates begin to climb, which they undoubtedly are going to have to. So get in touch with me. You can get me off the air. You can visit my website. I got a lot of great tools on my website. You can see all of my listings. I am a foreclosure sales specialist, but if none of my listings are to your liking, I can definitely put you in touch with a member of my team, and they can get you into a great property. And again, you can find my website, tampabayradio.com. And you can search, again, my inventory, as well as a lot of the, or all the available inventory in the area as well. You can also find some great deals on HUD properties. I am a HUD local listing broker. And the website for that, you can go directly to HUDhomestore.com. But there's a lot of great programs with buying these HUD properties, HUD being a division of the federal government, the Department of Housing and Urban Development. You can buy properties in the state of Florida for $100 down if you're an owner-occupant buyer and you're going to use FHA financing, a very utilized program out there. Again, buy a home for $100 down. Doesn't mean you're going to come to closing with just $100 on the table. You substitute that in for the normal 3.5% down, and then you have your closing costs on top of that. But it's a program that I like to promote that a lot of people take advantage of. And again, you can find all of those homes at HUDHomestore.com. Just go to search for properties in whatever city that you're interested in, and you can find a lot of great deals. And you can usually get, you don't have the investors competing against you because they restrict investors on those properties. So the first 15 days on the market, only people that are going to live in them as owner-occupants get the priority. So it reduces the available buyer pool. So you can find a lot of deals that, otherwise you'd be competing against if investors were allowed to compete at that time. I'm also a Fannie Mae direct listing broker. Fannie Mae offers 3.5% closing cost assistance on all their properties. And if you visit homepath.com, you can find all the available properties for both Fannie Mae and with all agents. Or you can, again, visit the TampaBayRadio.com website, click on the Our Properties tool, and you can see all of my listings. And please, reach out to me off the air and get with me, and I can definitely help you out in getting one of those properties. So if you're just tuning in, you've been listening to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. And again, you'll find my show on every Mondays at noon, so I invite you to please tune in as my show aims to become your information source for the Tampa Bay real estate market. On the show today, I had a great show. I had Garry Simpson, owner of Simpson Air, on the first segment. His company, Simpson Air, is a Carrier Factory authorized dealer. And in 2013, as well as 2014, they were a Carrier Presidential Award winner. Only 2 on the west coast of Florida and 10 in the state. So highly recommend Simpson Air. Also had Scott Humphries of Coldwell Banker and Stella Giudicelli in studio talking about her latest project, the Tampa Happy video, which is a very great project. Thank you all very much for tuning in. And again, I'll be back in here next Monday at noon on the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show. Have a great week, everybody. Take care.
The opinions, viewpoints, and promises made during the preceding